Welcome back to Kerala Delights Bus channel. Normally my videos are about recipes and cooking. Today I'm coming with a different video. This video is about how different food items influence your blood sugar level. Hope you enjoy it.
So let's look at how 1 cup of rice impact your blood sugar. So this will be showing the impact of carbohydrate on your blood sugar. This is the reader that comes with the sensor that I have on my body. There's a glucose monitoring sensor that attached to my upper arm, which I will show you in a minute. And I will be using this reader to take the measurement. So you can see the impact of the food that I'm going to be having on my blood sugar. And I believe there is a smartphone app comes with this product. So if you download the app to your smartphone, then you don't need this reader. You can use your smartphone app to read the sensor. Since I don't have that app, I will be using this reader. So this is the reader that goes in the back of my upper arm. It is a 14-day sensor, so I replace it every 14 days. So this is not a promotional video or supporting any product. I just wanted to use the technology to show how the food impact blood sugar. So if you wanted to know more about this product, you can Google, it's called Freestyle Libre, and you can Google Freestyle Libre, and that will produce a bunch of important information that may help you to understand more about this product. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to take a pre-measurement, meaning I'm going to take a reading before I have my rice. Then after I eat my rice, I take a measurement after 30 minutes, then another measurement after 60 minutes to show how the carbohydrate impact my blood sugar 30 minutes after having rice and also after 60 minutes after having rice. I don't have diabetes, so the magnitude of change may be a little bit different compared to somebody who are diabetic. Okay, I am using the sensor to monitor my blood glucose. So I'm going to take a pre-measurement measurement before I start eating my rice. So here is my sensor. As you can, it's right there. And when you scan with the reader, you don't have to lift your shirt. You can scan over your shirt. So I'm going to turn on the reader. So it's ready to scan. So I just scan it and we'll show you my sugar. My sugar is 84. So now I'm going to have my rice. I'm going to eat my rice. This is basmati rice. I'm going to eat with some lentil. And after eating this, after finishing this 1 cup of rice, I'll take a measurement after 30 minutes and then after 60 minutes. I'm ready to take my 30 minutes measurement. So it's been 30 minutes since I had my rice. So I'm going to see where my sugar level is. Here is the sensor. I'm going to turn on my reader. Here it is. I'm going to read it. And as you can see, I am at 135. So it's went from 84, that was my pre-measurement, to 135 after 30 minutes of having my rice. Now I will come back after 30 minutes, so it'll be a 60-minute measurement to show you where my sugar is. Okay, now I'm ready for my 60-minute reading. So it's been 60 minutes since I have the rice. You saw a 30 minutes reading, which was 135. Let's look at what it says after 60 minutes. Let's turn on the reader. It's on and it says 141. So after 60 minutes, I am at 141. So it went from 84 before I had my rice to 135 at 30 minutes and 141 at 60 minutes. As you can see, it's starting to come down. As I mentioned before, I don't have diabetes, so my body is reacting better to sugar and how it's using it. And the number and the magnitude of change may look a little bit different if you had diabetes, but at least you get to see how the carbohydrate impacting your body. Okay, let's look at how sugar impact our blood glucose. I have here about a scoop and a half ice cream. I will have it then I will measure how it impact my blood glucose. I'm going to take a pre-measurement and then I'm going to have the ice cream, then take another measurement at 30-minute and 60-minute. I'm ready to take my pre-measurement. Here is my glucose sensor. So I'm going to turn on the reader here. It's on. I'm going to measure it. And it reads 97. So my pre-measurement is 97. Now I'm going to have the ice cream, then take another measurement after 30 minutes. All right, I'm going to have my ice cream. So it's about 30 minutes since I had that ice cream. So I'm going to check my glucose and I'm going to turn on my reader, scan it, and it says 113. So I was going to take a 60-minute measurement after ice cream, then I forgot about it. And by the time I remember, it was too late. So I don't have a 60-minute reading for ice cream. But what I want to talk about, I want to point out a couple of important things here. I'm not a medical professional. Any observation or discussion that I'm going to have now is not in any medical capacity. So if you are somebody with diabetes and trying to manage your blood sugar, you should talk to your medical professional for further guidance. So I made this chart. It shows you the difference between the spike in glucose between when I had the rice and ice cream. No doubt, as you can see here, the both food increase your blood sugar. There is no doubt about it. But the increase happens with rice versus ice cream. There is a difference. So I went from 84, that was before I had the rice, and 30 minutes it went up to 135. And if you look at the same here, ice cream, my pre-reading was 97, but after 30 minutes it went up to 113. So the increase was much slower compared to rice. So rice can quickly raise your blood glucose because it has high glycemic index and it has tons of carbohydrate. So ice cream also increase your blood sugar, but that increase was much slower compared to rice. Because ice cream not just have sugar, it has fat. So the way it absorbs from your stomach a little bit slower compared to rice. So understanding how different food types behave is important, because if you are somebody who take insulin to manage diabetes, and if you inject insulin before each meal, you don't want to do it too late or too soon. What I meant by that, if you are having a food that is quickly increase your blood sugar, then you wanted to have your insulin there when the glucose hit your blood, right, for it to work. But if you are having a food that increase is much slower, then you wanted to time it in a way you don't want your insulin to be in your blood before the glucose from the food get there, because then you have hypoglycemia issue, right? If your insulin is get there too early compared to when the glucose hit the bloodstream, then you may end up in hypoglycemia, which is not a good thing to have. Or if your insulin get there too late because you ate one of those food that is high glycemic index food that tend to increase your blood sugar quicker, then if you don't have insulin to help the glucose to absorb, then you have hyperglycemia, which is not also good. So important to understand what type of food that you're going to eat, how quickly it may hit your blood glucose, and then time your insulin injection accordingly is very important for the proper and optimized management of diabetes. Again, as I said before, this is not a medical opinion. This is just my observation, and you should always discuss with your physician, your care provider, to understand how you can optimize the insulin dose for different type of food that you may be eating, so that you can effectively and properly manage your diabetes without end up in either hypoglycemia or hyperglycemia. So if I were to take a walk after I had my, let's say, rice, a 10 minutes walk, and this number would have looked differently, because walking would help your body to use your glucose much more efficiently, because you are doing some exercise. That's what your doctor tell you, to go for a walk after you eat, especially if you don't have to be diabetic. Anyone can. That will be a good thing for anyone, to take a short walk after you had your meal. So if I were to do right after any one of these food, and these numbers would have looked differently. Maybe in the future I'll demonstrate that. I would have one of these food and take a 10 minutes walk and take a reading at the 30-minute mark, and see how this number would look differently. I may do another video in the future. But I hope you enjoyed this video, and then I hope you learned something from it. Even though I won't be able to give you any medical advice, I would like to hear your comments, your thoughts, and if you have any experience, or if you use one of these sensors and you have done something similar, and if you want to share something with others, please feel free to do so. Please, no medical question. As I said, I'm not a medical professional. It's not a medical capacity that I'm giving you this observation. And if you wanted to learn more about the product that I use, the sensor that I use is called Freestyle Libre. I'm not promoting the product, but if you like to learn more about the product, you can Google it. It's called Freestyle Libre, and you will find tons of information, and then you can obviously have a discussion with your doctor to see if you are a good candidate for something like this, if it is something that's going to help you. And then you can make a decision with your doctor which product that may benefit you. There are not just this product. There are other similar products in the market that you and your healthcare provider may want to discuss and make a decision on. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoy it.